Okay, exercise number 8 is pretty ugly. So here's what, and I haven't worked with this problem yet, so you're gonna get to see it the first time through here. Um, what I notice about this problem is that on the left side, I've got the same sign here, the same exact guy going on right here, but this is different right here. So what I'm thinking is probably the right route to go is like if you've got some number plus another on the top, and then this on the bottom. It's usually a good step to multiply top and bottom by the bottom with the opposite sign, so essentially what the top is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to multiply top and bottom of this left side by the following. So this might get ugly, we'll see. So I'm going to go like this. I'm basically going to block this thing off. I'm going to say the following. Okay, so let's just recap what I did. This over here, in fact, let me put it in green parentheses. So this over here is the original problem. Then I multiplied top and bottom by this guy, which is the same item. So I multiplied top and bottom by really 1. So what am I going to get? Okay, you could multiply all this stuff out on the bottom, and in fact we're going to have to do that on the top. Kind of. So but let me show you what I'm doing here. I'm looking at this guy right here. Oops, I drew too much. Okay, I'm looking at, what was I going to do? Okay, this guy right here is my A. This guy right here is my B. So again, I've got A and I've got B. So what I'm doing is I'm taking A plus B and I'm multiplying it by A plus B. On the bottom, so that's this right here, A plus B times A plus B. On the bottom, this thing is still A, that's what we're calling A. And this thing is B, this thing is A, and this thing is B. So what I'm doing is I'm taking A minus B, hang on 1 second. Okay, so let's see here, where was I? So A minus B, and then this guy is A plus B. So if you multiply this thing out over here, okay, that's going to be A plus B quantity squared on the top, and then A squared minus B squared on the bottom. So what I can do is I can just use this general form right here. So you can see where all this algebra stuff's tying in. Okay. So I can use it over here just to make life simpler. Now, could you have multiplied all this out? Yeah, you can, but it takes you a while. So what I'm going to get over here is the following. I'm going to get 1 plus cosine theta plus sine theta, that guy squared. And on the bottom, I'm going to get a squared, which is 1 plus cosine theta squared minus sine squared theta, like that. That comes directly from this right here. Okay, now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, what am I going to do? I need secant, I need tangent. Well, what can I do? Let's keep playing around with it and see what we get. This guy, I guess we can... So let's leave our numerator for a minute. Although I got a feeling I'm going to have to square that thing out. Oh, darn. Well, what does it look like squared out? Let's see. Okay, if we actually do square that thing out... What am I gonna get? Oh, an ugly mess. Oh, well, let's just see what happens here. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. Cosine. So, okay, I'm gonna get 1 plus cosine theta plus sine theta. That's basically 1 multiplied into each of these. Now I'm gonna take cosine, put it into each of these. So plus cosine theta plus a cosine squared theta plus a sine theta cosine theta. Okay, now we'll do sine into each of these. So plus, see, this is why I didn't want to multiply it up. So plus sine theta plus sine theta cosine theta plus sine squared theta. That's just the top, okay? So what have I got here that I can reduce? Well, I've got a cosine, so I got 2 of those guys. So here's what I've got. I've got 1. Okay, this is, again, just the top. I've got 1 plus 2 cosines. So let's start crossing things off when I use them. So here's my, okay. Then I've got sine, and there's another sine floating around, so 2 sines. Okay. Then I've got a sine theta, sine theta, sine theta, sine theta, so 2 of those guys. Well, I just said sine theta twice, sine theta, cosine theta. Okay. So I've used this guy, and then the last things I've got left are cosine squared plus sine squared, which is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So the numerator, the top, reduces into 2 plus, this might not be so bad, 2 plus 2 cosine theta plus 2 sine theta plus 2 sine theta cosine theta. So I got 2 of everything there, so I can factor out a 2, and moving some terms around, I would get 1 plus cosine theta. But let's do it this way. Let's okay. Oh, okay, we'll just keep going. Okay, so that's the top. The bottom. Okay, let's multiply this guy out. So this guy here. So this is over. Now, so here we're gonna work on. Let me just put this in purple so that we save it. Okay, so this guy is what that guy is. Now let's distribute this guy out here. So 1 plus cosine squared is 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. That's what this guy is squared. Minus sine squared theta. So let's see if we can't get something to cancel out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make everything into cosines. So I'm going to switch this thing so that, because I've already got 2 cosines down here, so let's make this into cosine. So as a side note, up here, we know that sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. So that means cosine squared is equal to, whoops, other way around. So that means sine squared is equal to 1 minus cosine squared. So I'm going to stick that in right here. So the denominator, the numerator stays the same. This denominator becomes 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta minus this guy right here, because I'm going to insert it for sine squared. So that's 1 minus cosine squared theta, like that. So that's going to be 1 plus 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta minus 1 plus cosine squared theta. So the 1's cancel out. And I've got 2 of these guys. So things are starting to look better now because I'm starting to see a lot of 2's in here. So 2 cosine theta plus cosine squared theta. That's my denominator, and I can factor, 2 of them. I have 1 here, so I get 2. So I can factor out a 2 cosine theta. I'm left with 1 plus cosine theta. Well, okay, so let's put that in orange. Okay, so let's rewrite what we've got. We have got on the numerator, basically, okay, so look, these guys are going to cancel out, so I'm not going to write them. So, on the top, I've got 1 plus cosine theta plus sine theta plus sine theta times cosine theta over cosine theta times 1 plus cosine theta. Let's go back and try to figure out where do we want to go? Okay, so secant plus tangent. We're still a little bit of ways off. Okay. So what can we do here? It's tempting. Oh, I got it. It's tempting to want to cancel this guy with this guy, but you can't because there's addition between. So I'm gonna do this. 1 plus cosine. I'm gonna factor out a sine here. Why did I do that? Because I noticed I would get a 1 plus cosine. Okay, if you're still with me, congratulations. You deserve a prize or a medal or something. And if right now, if you've found an easier way to do this, great. Okay, good for you. So what I'm going to do is on the top, I'm going to factor out a cosine theta. 1 plus cosine theta. So here's what it's going to look like. 1 plus cosine theta times 1 plus sine theta. Okay, now these guys cancel. So what am I left with? 1 plus sine theta over cosine theta, which, guys, is 1 over cosine theta plus sine over cosine. And 1 over cosine is secant, and sine over cosine is tangent, which is what we wanted. And so there's the whole proof. I'm guessing that there was a faster way of doing that. But I'm not seeing it right now. So I'll look at it for a little bit longer, but I'm going to stop this video because YouTube's got a 15-minute time limit. So maybe I'll try it in a different video.